Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I'm looking a little bit rough, and that's because we're going to be trying out this new Estée Lauder Futuristic Hydro Rescue Foundation. If you want to see how this foundation is going to perform, just keep on watching. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do so by hitting that red button below. And let's get started. Estée Lauder came out with a new foundation, and this is the new Estée Lauder Futuristic Hydro Rescue Foundation. It's one of their newest launches, and I'm really excited to try out this foundation because I really love the Estée Lauder Double Wear Foundation and the Water Fresh Foundation. Those two foundations are one of my two favorite foundations from Estée Lauder, so I'm hoping that this foundation is going to work out for me too. So this is how the package looks like, very different from that typical Estée Lauder like glass foundation bottles. This foundation does come in 20 shades, and it does retail for $45. You do get 1.2 ounces, which is a little bit more than the standard. The standard is usually like 1 ounce, and this foundation claims to be like a foundation that will work for any skin type, for oily, for dry, for combination. It is supposed to be like a medium to full coverage, and it's more of a radiant finish. My skin type is very dry right now. Usually I'm combination, but right now with this weather, my skin is very dry, especially around here in my mouth area. Very dry, so I'm pretty excited to try it and see if it's actually gonna give me some moisture to my skin, because it does claim that it has like chia seed extract, which is like nourishes your skin. It has probiotic technology, which soothes the skin, and it has ion charged water, which hydrates. Skin is plump with moisture, and it has an instant radiant glow. Full coverage, lightweight formula immediately covers visible redness and diffuses the look of fine drying lines, pores, and spots. Looks flawless and smooth, stays color true all day long wear. Okay, we're gonna test it out and see if it does last all day. It covers your pores, it covers your spots. So I do have huge pores, I do have like scarring, so we're gonna test this out. And I'm gonna go in shade 2 and 1, which is Desert Beige. I didn't apply anything to my skin. I didn't apply moisturizer or anything because I really want to test it out and see if it's gonna give me moisture. Because if I do apply moisturizer, that's gonna affect everything. So yeah, my skin is bare, it has nothing. And as you can see, this is how my skin is looking right now. So let's get started. And for this side, I'm going to use my stippling brush to apply this foundation. And on this side, and it has a pump. I'm going to actually dispense on the back of my hand. Oh, it's very liquidy. It's a very liquidy formula. And then with my brush, I'm going to get a little bit of that. I'm just going to apply this on this side. It does have a smell to it. I don't know what it smells like, but it does smell like kind of like cucumber smell, like green grass, like cucumber smell. It does smell like cucumber, like some type of grass. It does smell like that. Yeah, this foundation does have a smell, so if you're not into smells, you probably will not like this one. But the smell is not bad. It does have a smell, but the smell is not bad. A lot left on my hand. I just grabbed a little bit of foundation, and so far it's covering like my redness and my dark spots a little bit. It's definitely covering some stuff. As you can see, there's a difference right now with foundation, with no foundation. And I think I choose correctly because I don't like my foundations to be too medium on the side, because like my neck is like really light, so if I go with a medium foundation, it's just gonna look crazy. But it is like kind of matching my neck. I like that I only grab a little bit of foundation, and it did cover a lot. I still have a lot here on my hand left. It's definitely more like a light to medium coverage right now. Like as you can see, you can still, some of my pimples are still coming through, peeking through. So it's still like a light to medium. I'm going to try the other side with the sponge and see if that's going to make a difference. So I'm going to apply a little bit more, like a pump. I'm just going to take a pump and I'm going to apply it to the other side. And it's very watery. On this side, I apply the foundation with a stippling brush. And this side, I apply the foundation with the sponge. And as you can see, I feel like the sponge was less coverage. I feel like the sponge was soaking up the product more, especially because this foundation is a little bit more of a water-based foundation. So I feel like the sponge is just like soaking up the foundation. So it gave me less coverage on this side with the sponge compared with the brush. So I'm gonna go on this side with a sponge now, just to even up everything out. I'm gonna take one more pump. Okay, so this is how the foundation's looking, like with 2 pumps on each side. Definitely this foundation is more like a radiant foundation. If you're looking for a matte foundation, this foundation is definitely not for you, because it does give you like a nice radiant look. I don't feel like it's full coverage right now. It does say it's a medium to full coverage, but so far it doesn't look bad. I really like how hydrating it looks. It feels very good. It's still a little bit wet. Once you apply the foundation, the face still feels a little bit wet. I think you have to wait a little bit before applying any concealer or anything else. But this is how it's looking. I think I'm going to add a little bit more just to cover a little bit, if I could cover a little bit more of my dark spots. But this is how it's looking. Like, I feel like it kind of covered my pores. Not a lot, but it kind of did that. Oh yeah, if you definitely add a little bit more, it does cover a little bit more of your dark spots. My face with an extra pump to each side. I feel like the foundation looks good on my skin, although it's not covering all my like dark spots and pimples, but I feel like it did give me like an even base. So it did claim that it's going to give you like an even base, and definitely it has. I feel like my skin, it's like a one skin tone. It's very even right now. It's looking good. It did say that it would cover your pores, and I feel like it did cover my pores just a little bit, and it does feel hydrating, definitely. I definitely look a little bit glowy. I'll finish my face, and I'll be right back, and we'll check in and see how the foundation's looking. I completed my makeup, and honestly, I have to say, I am in love with this foundation. So far, the foundation looks awesome on my skin. I really like how it looks. Although it's not covering like 100% my blemishes or my dark spots or anything, but I feel like overall my skin just looks good. Especially right here where I have dry patches. It doesn't look very like patchy. It looks very good. And I just love how it looks. At the beginning when I applied the foundation, it did feel a little bit like too sticky, a little bit watery. But after a couple of minutes of drying down, I feel like it did oxidize just a little bit, just a tiny little bit. I feel like it did oxidize. But overall, it looks good on my skin. I really like how it's looking, although you can still see some of my blemishes. But I feel like my skin just looks good, especially if you go really close up. It does look good, and I didn't like set my foundation. I didn't put any powder or any like setting mist. I didn't do anything of that. I just let it sit by itself. I let it dry. I waited a couple of minutes before applying my bronzer and blush and all of that. But after that, like my skin does look really good. I feel like it does really look good. I feel like this foundation, you could definitely be a little bit light with it or medium or full coverage. I feel like I did apply a little bit too much of the foundation. That's why it looks a little bit more like a full coverage, medium to full coverage. But I feel if you're looking for like a light coverage, you could definitely do that just with one pump. And I feel like this foundation really looks really good. For being my first impressions, I feel like this foundation is really good. I do feel like if you do have like really dry skin, you will love this foundation because it definitely hydrates your skin. Even if you have oily skin, I believe like this foundation will work for you. Just use a little bit. But I really like how my skin looks, and I am more of a combination. I am oily, I am dry. Right now I'm more like in a dry side just because of the climate, but I really love how the foundation looks on my skin. Like I said, it did oxidize just a little bit, but I really like how it looks. It didn't cover like all my acne. Like you can still see some dark spots around here, but for me personally, I don't want like a really full coverage foundation. Like I really want something that's more in the medium in between, and I think this foundation, it's it. If you're looking for a foundation that's more like medium to full coverage, I think you're gonna love this foundation. this foundation did perform very good. For being the first impressions, I love how it looks. I'm going to keep testing this foundation out. Definitely check out the description box where I'm going to leave more information about this foundation, how it worked throughout the day. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do so by hitting that red button below and share this video. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.